who you are, where you're from, please.
My name is Rebecca Bextel, and I'm from Jackson, Wyoming. And I'm here as a citizen, not necessarily representing any business or anything like that. What I'd like to see is, I would like to ask that we consider a strategic sourcing proposal.
Could you move the mic closer to your mouth, please?
I'm normally told I talk too loud. Okay, so I'm prepared for that. I was also prepared to say good morning, Chairman Nichols. I don't know what else to say, and all the other senators, representatives. So my name is Rebecca, and I'm from Jackson, Wyoming, and I'm here to ask if we could please consider a strategic sourcing proposal for the state of Wyoming. We spend $1 billion a year, I estimate, and I believe that if we got aggressive, we could save $80 to $100 million a year by just simply getting a fair price for things we already pay for. At least the people that I know that do strategic sourcing, and I wouldn't be the one that does it, I'm just a citizen wanting to see it done. But they don't go in there and let go of staff and cut staffing levels or anything like that. They just look at things like technology contracts and things that we signed up for 10 years ago that we don't need anymore. Or they do kind of a bulk discount for things that we purchase. I know I have kept up closely with the Government Efficiencies Commission, and the problem I have with that is that it's speculative recommendations instead of someone actually coming in here and saving us money. What I'm scared about with the Efficiency Commission report, the Alvarez-Marsal report, is they've done this many times for many other states, and we never know if those states saved a penny. We see the recommendations. So if we just stuck with another efficiency study that takes 2 years, costs $17 million in 2019, who's to say we'll even continue with the process or anyone does anything? On their report, they said their immediate recommendation for savings was sell surplus assets. And then they had another quote. I'm just wanting to make sure I quote it correctly. It said, implementation of recommendations or further study will require financial investment from the state. While there is an upfront or even ongoing investment required, the initiatives should yield savings to more than offset the cost. When you're talking about $17 million, I would hope that would be a guarantee. So what I'm asking is, instead of trying to do a strategic sourcing proposal that's jumbled in with an efficiency study, can we just do that by ourselves? When I started coming to Cheyenne last year regarding this, we could have already saved $80 million if we had just taken it up at that time. It would take, good morning, it would take 4 to 5 months to start seeing real savings, and I would recommend not hiring someone unless they get paid on a percentage of the savings so they have some skin in the game.
Thank you. Any questions?
I know everyone's already heard
3
this.
minutes exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Anything else you want to tell us? You got 2 minutes.
Mr. Chairman.
The weather outside.
Senator Dockstader.
Mr. Chairman, it's Rebecca, right?
Yes, sir, Rebecca Bextel.
Drove over here just for this, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for doing that. I need you to summarize, though I lost you a little bit right at the intro. Summarize where we're at with this.
Okay. So I live in Jackson, and I have the full disclosure is I have a person I know that does this, and I've watched him save money for major corporations like J.P. Morgan, Bank of America. And what he does is he looks at the checkbook basically of these companies and says, he has like experts in technology, experts in different fields, okay? And he says, wait a minute, a guy like for the state of Wyoming that signs one technology contract every 3 years might not be as on top of what we need for technology. IBM sends their $1 million sales executive to negotiate with an employee that signs one contract every 3 years. You're not on the same playing field. So what strategic sourcing does, there's not a lot of people that do this, is they come in and they actually look at everything we're paying for and say, are we getting a fair price? We buy 1,000 of these chairs, so instead of it being $12, it needs to cost $10. So I'm not saying get a cheaper chair than this. I'm saying buy this chair now for $10 or we're going to go with someone else. Most of the time, you stay with the person you're already purchasing things for. So if we sign, let's say, a $10 million contract with Oracle for software and technology all around the state, and we sign a 3-year contract. Well, we're giving Oracle $30 million. They don't employ one person in the state. Instead of paying $30 million, we need to be paying more like $20 million. And so even though we're in a contract now, we say, well, if you don't renegotiate this contract right now, when this is up, we're heading to IBM. And they'll negotiate for $30 million. And so this is not to say anything. I own a small, sir, okay. But I just want somebody to look at the checkbook. And what's happening right now is we've got this thing jumbled in an efficiency commission that's going to just roll around for another few years. When I was pregnant last winter with my third child and has had some time on my hand, and I began this as a citizen, this is the 7th time I've come down here about this, we would have already saved $80 million. And I appreciate everything the Efficiency Commission did. I met with a lot of those people, but I don't want to see an Alvarez-Marsal report where a consultant embeds themselves into our payroll and drags it on, finding gaps. I'm just tired of stuff like that.
Good points.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Hastert.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. And Rick, you kind of used $80 million, and I'm curious how that you arrived at that number, and then and then the second part of that would be looking at the way state government operates, and we have a multitude of agencies that kind of stand on their own. So we heard a little bit about it from our enterprise technology. Is that, hey, if you give me the ability to power buy for across the agencies, but typically we're not set up that way across all the different agencies. And I just wondered if you had looked at it in a government model where so many different agencies kind of doing their own thing, and how do you pull all that together? So I guess the two things is the dollar figure, and then kind of looking at it as a state government model.
Ms. Bextel, I'm going to ask you to answer him during a break or something.
Okay.
We're already over the time for her. We won't have time for other people.
I'll be around.